Hey, what's up you guys? You're watching Ultimate MMA Brief. My name is Husset Boy, and today I'm going to be doing a pick for UFC 137. Now, UFC 137 has been kind of mixed around a lot. There's been a lot of ins and outs that have been happening. Started out, it was going to be GSP versus Nick Diaz. That fell through because Nick Diaz didn't show up to any of the press conferences. And he just kind of like disappeared off the map. Then it changed to GSP versus Carlos Condit, which I was extremely excited about. I really love Carlos Condit, and he's actually probably my second favorite fighter next to Shogun. Then, because of a knee injury with the GSP like a week ago, something like that, the main event was changed to what was going to be the co-main event, BJ Penn versus Nick Diaz. So, now the main event is BJ Penn versus Nick Diaz. So, BJ Penn versus Nick Diaz. Two very similar fighters here. Let's break this down. BJ Penn, good boxer, great BJJ, probably one of the better, if not the best, in the welterweight / lightweight divisions, and has his good takedowns, very good, very good takedowns, and just, you know, a name. He's been around forever, and probably one of the better fighters in the UFC. However you feel about him, he's definitely up there as one of the greats of all time. That's him, Nick Diaz, Strikeforce champion, very good, excellent boxing, very technical, not the same. You know, same as Nate Diaz. Very similar style. You know, comes in, bam, out. Excellent BJJ. Like, really good. But he's like, I'll get to that in a second. And takedowns, again, decent. Now, the difference between Nick Diaz, there's two very solid differences I see between Nick Diaz and BJ Penn. BJ Penn has serious knockout power, like serious. He can do damage. Nick Diaz, I'm not going to say he doesn't have that same knockout power, but, I mean, look at what BJ Penn did to Matt Hughes. Then again, Matt Hughes, that's happening to him a lot these days, but look at what BJ Penn did to Matt Hughes. That was pretty bad. 21 seconds, I think it was not good, right? So BJ Penn has that knockout power. Nick Diaz is more of the, you know, come in, bam. I'm not saying he can't knock people out, but he's less of that. What he is more of a technical fighter, and he will beat you up in terms of points. He will get points. He will bam, point. Bam, point. That gets you points for landing more strikes. If he lands double the strikes as BJ Penn, doesn't matter if BJ Penn is rocking him the whole time, which I doubt because Nick Diaz got a jaw. But what the judges see are those hits. And if you see 70 hits from Nick Diaz and you get 30 hits from BJ Penn, it's different. So landing hits, Nick Diaz has the thing there. Another thing, Nick Diaz has very fast submissions. His submissions just pop on. You'll take him down to the ground because BJ Penn has decent takedowns. Takes him down to the ground. Both great BJJ guys, but Nick Diaz will just be doing something, and all of a sudden, bam, go plata, and you won't know how it happened because that's what Nick Diaz does. Nick Diaz is very quick with them. You'll be like, how did that happen? And it just comes on. So, but again, BJ Penn is one of the better BJJ practitioners in the UFC. Nick Diaz coming from outside the UFC, so we'll see what happens. I'm going to give this fight to BJ Penn by a split decision. I think it's going to be a war. I think it's going to be back and forth. I don't think that BJ Penn has it in him. Though he definitely has knockout power. I don't think that he can knock out Nick Diaz because Nick Diaz is tough. So I don't think he has it in him to knock out Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz is going to definitely land a lot of points, but I think that he might get taken down by BJ Penn because BJ Penn has very good takedowns. So I think BJ might score the points there, and I think I'm going to give it to BJ Penn via decision. Moving on to one of the co-main events. I'm going to do two co-main events. Two of on the main event card, whatever you want to call it. First one, Mirko Cro Cop versus Roy Nelson. I'm going to make this really quick, break it down. Mirko Cro Cop, everyone knows who he is. Can knock you out with his legs. Very scary guy. However, is on a 2-fight losing streak. I think last one was against Brendan Schaub. Don't quote me on that. I don't really remember. But I think Brendan Schaub might have knocked him out. You know, he's getting old. I can understand his, you know, he's losing his chin a little bit. I can forgive him for that. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. Has excellent stand-up. His takedown defense is usually pretty good. And I don't really know so much about his BJJ. I don't think he ever really uses it. I'm pretty much sure he's pretty much more of a ground and pound guy. On the opposite end, Roy Nelson, excellent BJJ. For a big guy, really, really good BJJ. It actually has a decent amount of knockout power. Knocked out Brendan Schaub, knocked out Stefan Struve, but he's on a 2-fight losing streak now, so that could be a big problem for him. Roy Nelson, obviously, big gut, had some problems with his conditioning last time. So, if Roy Nelson comes in looking fairly good, with decent cardio and not as, fat as he always looks, if he comes in there looking fairly in shape, I see no reason why he can't knock out Mirko Cro Cop. Now, thinking about that, Mirko Cro Cop, I mean, if Roy Nelson improves his takedowns and he takes down Mirko Cro Cop, he could even submit him, which I would actually love to. I would love to see that, because I feel like Mirko Cro Cop is never going to lose his job in the UFC. He just has a name. He's not going to lose his job. He could lose 5 fights in a row, and they'd probably still keep him. Probably. I'm not going to say that for sure. But Roy Nelson, I don't know. So I'm actually kind of rooting for Roy Nelson to win this one a little bit. I think he's going to take it seriously. He's a tough champion, tough winner. You know what I mean? Tough, the Ultimate Fighter. He's an IFL champion. I think he's going to come back, and I hope that he manages to stay in the UFC. So I'm going to say, for that fight, I'm going to say Roy Nelson via submission, if he manages to improve his takedowns. If not, I'll give it to him actually via KO. He might even have a KO on his hands. So KO or submission, depending on how, if we see him coming in with the improved takedowns. I don't know how much he's improved his takedowns, but that's something he needs to improve on. But let's say KO, but submission is definitely a possibility. So there you go. There's my picks. I kind of lost focus towards the end. I don't know if you noticed that. But please, guys, leave comments, subscribe to the channel, for the love of God. I need more subscribers. If you enjoyed the pick, like this video, favorite this video, comment, please, something. Thank you very much. You've been watching Ultimate MMA Brief. My name is Husband Boy, and I will see you guys for UFC 138. Enjoy.